It's the cool of the day, the cool of the day, the cool of the day.
What's up, my beautiful crown and authentic family, and welcome to the Cool of the Day. I'm your host, it's your girl Keish, and today I'm honored, humbled, and absolutely excited, y'all, to introduce a woman whose life and work scream purpose, passion, and power. Allow me to welcome Coach Takara Nicole, a visionary leader, devoted mom, holistic healer, and execution coach. She's a licensed master cosmetologist, triple certified trichologist, certified life coach, and holistic practitioner. A woman rooted in more than 2 decades of ministry, leadership, and entrepreneurial excellence. Secure isn't just about hair or business or ministry. She's about transformation. And we love transformation. She owns the Healthy Hair Studio. Woo! So, ladies, y'all want to get y'all restored hair going on? Go get your hair done. She leads Restored Crown Hair Restoration Clinic and directs Transform Now coaching and consulting. And through it all, her mission remains to help people uncover purpose, embrace their identity, and execute their God given dreams with excellence. So, if you're ever felt stuck, unsure of your next step, overwhelmed by the unknown, press in, sis, press play, and lean in close because today we're about to get real on what it really means to pray, plan, and execute. This is Execution by Faith with Takira Nicole. Wait, I'm so excited.
Thank you. It's
Yes, Mr. Kira. Listen, like when I say I was nervous because I look up to you so much.
thank you. Thank
I
you.
do. And when you said yes, I was like, she said yes, Lord.
Absolutely.
She
I,
said yes.
it's a joy to be here. I love to do stuff like this. So it's definitely not something where I'm just like, oh, if you kind of feel like you're too big to do anything. I enjoy moments
Yeah,
like this. So I'm excited to be here. And I'm ready.
I'm ready to. So I know you carry many titles, pastor, author, execution coach, mentor, educator, speaker, and much more. Which one resonates most deeply with your identity in Christ, or maybe all, and why?
So I figure I think I'll say that I feel like all of them do.
Mm.
They all honestly are a piece of the puzzle of who I am inside. And so when I talk about being an author, when I talk about being an execution coach, we talk about being a hairstylist, like all of those things, ministry leader, pastor, like honestly, I'm doing the same thing just in a different way.
Yeah.
I'm empowering, I'm helping people transform their life, whether it's through their hair, I'm coaching, I'm helping them transform their life through with their business. And so honestly, I feel like everything that I'm doing is literally just like a piece of what I'm called to do. And honestly, I didn't even kind of shape it or bring it all together until I don't know, maybe a couple years ago. Because when I started doing hair, I was always known for like healthy hair. I was always known for someone is struggling with their hair. Like, this is the person you need to go to. And I started like um what's the word I want to use? I started doing a lot more wellness like
Mhm.
my hair. Like, I started to go a step further and getting a lot more certification. So I'm like, hey, listen, if you want to grow your hair, it's okay. Like, I want to, but I also want you to focus on, like, I need you to eat right and being able to recognize when people are going through deeper things so that I can help them get to the doctor and get them a diagnosis. So I'm like, okay, on that end. And then I started coaching and started doing ministry. And so all of those things still was all about like wellness. I want your business to be well. I want your spiritual walk to be well. And so they all kind of just tie into one another. So I wouldn't say it's like one specific thing that I do. I feel like all of them are all about wellness and being well and transformation and executing, but just in all different areas of people's lives.
I love that. Like I was writing down some stuff, but I wrote down all work together, like everything that we do, like, because I remember being in a season where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm like, Lord, why am I here? Like, what am I doing this for? And everything I realized, like, over the years that everything that I've done, like, it worked together. Like, and I'm like, oh, I know technology. I've been doing it for a while, graphics, and then I know I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, doing that, and like everything just working together. So, and then also like it works together for a cause. Like it's not just, oh, we're just working together just because. No, it's like a piece of this puzzle piece. Like everything just come together and fit so perfectly into the cause of Christ. And then when you were talking about be well, like your ministry, be well, like you see someone and you're like you look beyond like what their current circumstance is. I feel like that, I don't know, like because that's how I look too. Like I see someone and I'm like, you could let's see how I can help you in this area.
Yeah,
Let's see.
for sure. And I think it comes from like when I was growing up, like my aunt, she passed away, my mom's sister, and she used to always tell us like, look beyond the person. That's what she used to always say.
Wow.
It's tougher sometimes, people that are in that place to see past where they are. So it's good where you can have people that can have vision. So I always tell people it's not the fact that you don't have it, or you don't have the tools and you don't have the vision and you don't have, what you want to do. Sometimes you just need someone that can see beyond what you can see, that can
Yes.
you to the next moment. And so like again, being well in every area of your life. Like I said, I just started like kind of trying to put the piece together. I'm like, okay, girl, like you've been doing this, you've been doing that. And like, girl, your message over here was this, I started doing Women Be Well like 4 years ago. And I wasn't even
Mhm.
like thinking about a life at the well at the time. I was just like, my clients are coming in and they were struggling. And I was like, you need to be well. You come in here and get your hair done, but your inside is not well. You're stressed and you're overwhelmed in your body and you're just eating everything. So, again,
Yeah.
talk about purpose and having purpose in your life. One thing I know is that purpose stems from who you are authentically.
Hmm.
It's what you do every day. It's the first thing that you think about. It's the first move that you decide to make. And so a lot of times people are like, I'm searching for, what am I called to do? Like, what is my real purpose? Your real purpose is what is the thing that you would do when you wake up in the morning? Like if you could pay me to do this, the amount of money that I would even, that it would even cost for me to do what I do, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's just who I am. So if
Yeah.
anybody's out there and like, what is my purpose? Where do I start even there? It's like, well, what do you do every day? What is the thing
Yeah.
that just drives you? And so that's what you focus on.
That is so good. That's me in a nutshell. Like I'm like when I wake up, I'm like, okay, what we doing today?
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
like, what we doing today? Because we gotta get stuff going. Like I always wake up with a purpose, and not realizing it. Sometimes you're just like, okay, I'm up, and now it's time to get some things going. Like I plan, I write down what I need to get done, and I go and I try to execute it. Some things don't get done, some things do. But
Yeah.
it's just like when you're working, like right now, like when I'm working in the thing that I'm in, I can't really say much about it, but when I'm working in the thing that I'm in, it's like it gives me such joy, and to know that it's for other people, like know that it's gonna help other people, it brings me such joy,
Yeah.
such joy. And we were talking, all I can hear is care. Like we care so much, because we know where we were, and people instill stuff in us, or the good things in us, and I just wanted to do that for someone else, like be that light in someone's darkness, even though some people don't talk about it, but you can hear it in their language. Like you can hear the pain and, like you said, their stress, and you want to just help them, and
Yeah.
plant that seed in them, that seed of encouragement. Um, so that being said, what does being crowned in Christ mean to you personally? And how do you strive to live that out in your daily life?
So being crowned in Christ, I would say being crowned in Christ to me means being set apart, being different. Um, and walking that out daily is by just doing what he wants us to do, like walking out his principles, not in a place of perfection, but I always say in a place of consistency. And I think a lot of times we as Christians and people of God, we will try to be perfect, but there is no perfect person, and so I feel like God is looking for a level of just for us to show up consistently. When we talk
Mhm.
about crown, when you talk about royalty, when you think about a crown, rather, you think about the royalty, you think about being like different, you think about being set apart. You think about there are certain ways that you should conduct yourself. There are certain ways that you should operate, right? Because as royalty, they don't act the same way as other people. They understand that there are people that are looking to them. They understand that they are in
Mhm.
there, that there is a certain level of platform that they have to be on. And so yes, we've known people that are in royalty to mess up and, make mistakes and different things like that. However, the totality of who they are is always striving to make sure that they are setting an example. And so when I think about being crowned, I think about just being that example, not being perfect, but being that perfect example of what consistency in Christ looks like.
Yes, when we were talking, like I just started to go back to like places where, I would try to be so perfect.
Mhm.
Like as soon as I came into Christ, okay, I gotta be this perfect person, and not realizing that that was tearing me down more than so, thinking that I had to know everything, and if I were to say something that wasn't right, I'm like beating myself up about it.
We do that.
um, yeah, and not realizing that it's okay. Like, it's okay to ask for that help. It's okay to get in a community when you don't really know much, because ultimately, like, God wants us to be better. Like it's a process, and I had to realize that it was a process. Still a process. It's gonna be forever be a process,
Yeah.
and that we're not perfect. We're not perfect, but like you said, we strive to be better, like in all areas of our life. We strive to be better. And so I love that. I love that. Consistency is key. Being consistent, especially with like this working out. Ooh,
Yeah.
Lord.
It hurts in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, anything that we're doing, it's not always going to feel good. It's not always going to be the best feeling, but it yields the greatest results. And I think that's the thing about just pray planning and executing is that a lot of times people just don't have the endurance, to endure the beginning stages. We see ourselves at the end, but we don't understand the process of the beginning. And so it's like if you can just endure the small things, if you can just endure like the beginning stages, that's the foundation of, where you're going. And so when you think about even working out, the walking, and then after you move from the walking, what I'm saying, then it's intensifies like everything builds. You go from 5 to 10, you go from 10 to
Hmm.
20, but it has to start at the 5. And so we try to jump to the 20 because we think the 20, if we get the 20, we're going to get more results. Not realizing you can injure yourself trying to go, so fast without starting. And so it's like, even in the process of working out, it's the same thing with life. We're trying to start at the 20, and it's like, no, girl, go back to the, no, sir, go back
Yeah.
to 5, work through the 5 and let the 5, get consistent with the 5 and then move, up from there.
Yes, I love that. You just switched how you just turned the working out to like life, and so good.
Y'all, it's your girl Keish. I am the host of the Cooler Today podcast and also the lead creative behind Crowned and Authentic. The Cooler Today podcast is the message. Crowned and Authentic is the wearable message. I invite you into the garden with me and God during the cool of the day where we talk about Christ in real life, where we are crowned authentic, where we wear our story and we walk in our purpose, where we are the light in someone else's darkness, where transformation of our minds goes forth, where God molds and He shapes us, where we love on each other, where we are honest, we are raw. Listen, God be Godding. And that says it on the shirt right here. He be Godding. He be doing His thing. Go on our website, www.tcotd.store.
So when I came to your event, like $20 investment,
Right.
and I want to tell you the story because this is what I want to tell you. $20 investment. Like, I wish everybody would have taken up going to that event. But those who did, truly, truly, I know they truly got blessed and the seeds or they got watered,
Yeah.
you know? And when I went there, I was like, I don't have my business card. I don't have a physical business card. And I was like, but I can create an electronic one.
Yeah.
So I did an electronic one. I was like, okay, I'll do that. Still nervous. I went there and when I got in there, I was like so shy. I'm like, I'm not even like this. I'm not even shy. Why am I
Yeah.
like this? Because I was trying to compare myself
Yep.
because I'm like, well, I'm already thinking, well, they probably got what they, what they have and they might have, and not realizing that, girl, you going there for you, like everybody's going there for them, like to get better. And so I literally, when I think you or someone told us to take a break, I went straight to the bathroom. I went straight to the bathroom. I went straight to the bathroom and I went in there and I was in the stall and I prayed. I said, Lord, help me.
Oh my goodness.
I need your help. And so I got out of the stall and that's when I met Angel. And she came in the restroom and we started talking. I said something. I was like, I only have this electronic business card. And she was like, me too. I got it.
Yep.
Like, what? And then someone else did too. The other lady Ari that I met too. She was standing there. We were all talking to each other in the restroom.
Yeah.
And then as I got out of the restroom, I went to sit back down. I felt much better. Like I was like, okay, girl, like this is good. This is really good. But I wanted to say like you planted that seed in me as well to like move forward with this podcast because I didn't start this podcast until after I
Wow.
went to your event. And I can't really remember what was said, but something was said that you said, and it made me just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Do it anyway. Like, just do it. And I was like, I want to tell her that. I want to. So I was like, oh, I couldn't wait to like tell you this,
Very
you
cool.
know.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
always tell people just start, like I think we just wait for the perfect conditions, to start. I tell people all the time, like me and my best friend, like we've been hosting events. We don't have event planners. We don't have, people that are traveling with us to do certain things. Like it's literally us. And
Mm-hmm.
not that, we don't desire a team, but at the same time, we're just beginning with just us. And so we've done two so far. And like our first one, like we had to do the setup, we have to do the takedown. We have to like do all the shopping, get all the food, cook the food, prepare the food, like we
Yes.
don't have other hosts. So it's us. So I'm hosting and she's working and then getting content. And then I'm getting content and hosting and she's teaching. Like we've got this, this rhythm. And then, we came here and even trying to set up the room, they were like, well, do you want us to pay somebody to do it? And I was like, well, we could probably do it. And we're getting in there. We just like, this is not panning out how we thought it was going to do it, But the goal is to start, and one day our testimony will be like, we've done this. I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I haven't done myself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to, to set up and, do all the things. And it's like, I never did it before. Like, no, I'm telling you for what I know to just do,
Yeah.
just start, just show up, without all the things that we think that we need, And so
Mm.
I can tell you how it can be intimidating because I've watched other people host business events and I'm
Yeah.
watching like the big decor and the big stage and they got the mics and they got all of those things. And it's like, I don't have any of those things, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to let the fact that I don't have any of those things stop me from just going. All
Wow.
those things will come. The most important part is impact. The most important part is people getting this information. So whether they're sitting at a table that has $100 worth of decor, or sitting at a table that has a black tablecloth, or whether you're sitting in a chair, you're still
Mm-hmm.
going to get the same information.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, see, and then that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I started these events and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I may not have the money to do it, but I'm like, Lord, there's always a way. I'm a problem solver. I said there's always a way to just do it. So I started hosting the virtual events, the online events. And I'm like, this is good. Like people came and whoever was in the room, they got what they needed. And this was good. And so now he's challenging me to do in-person events.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. But at the same time, I'm like, we can do this. Like, I can do this. We can do this, Lord. And so I'm like, what's stopping me?
Right.
And I think it's a lot of times it's us that stops us
For sure.
because we overthink so much. Well,
Yep.
how this gonna happen? I'm like, no, just do it. Just go.
Yeah.
I already know went before you, so just go, go and do it.
Absolutely.
That is so that's an inspiration story, like, to the women who's listening or to the woman who's listening, just do it, sis. Like, this is your call to just do it. That thing that you've been having on your mind to do, just do it. That God's been putting at the forefront of your mind all the time. Like, just do it. Do it. It's good. It's gonna impact people in a good way. Then do it.
Yeah.
Um so, like, as someone leading many others, how do you invest your own spiritual growth and authenticity? Like, what habits or disciplines anchor you in faith when life gets busy? Because I know it gets hard and busy.
So I'm a super planner, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always watching my calendar. I'm always watching my planner. I'm making sure that things don't typically overlap. I take moments where I take breaks. So I have moments where it's like super busy and I'm really in tune. And then there's moments where like I'm not taking any engagements. I'm not going anywhere. And so I'm just watching my calendar. I can't say there's like a specific time that I do it. But I'm always constantly being aware of, like, okay, like, the beginning of the year, I would say like January to like May, it was like crazy busy,
Yeah.
back-to-back engagements, flying different places, in my own events at the same time. And so my daughter started playing basketball. So that was another big thing. So
Yeah.
we're doing travel ball every weekend. We're somewhere. So I decided that for like June, July, and August, well, the beginning of August, so June, July, and the beginning of August, that I wasn't taking any engagements, and I wasn't going anywhere. So that was like my downtime, during that moment. Like right now, currently, I'm on a little downtime. It's like I've been off for like 2 weeks, in and out of the salon very little, but like I've been sleeping, I've been resting. So I'm super aware of like my calendar and making sure that I've just find my pockets of time. I don't like, as again, I said, I don't have a distinct moment where I'm like every time at this time, because my life just doesn't work like that. But I think the biggest thing is making sure that you are aware, like, and even like when you're looking at your calendar, just because it's an empty date on the calendar doesn't mean it has to be filled with something. So if someone calls and say, "Hey, listen, can you do something?" It doesn't mean that because you see that Thursday you're off, let me just go ahead and fill that with something else when that's a day that you could rest. So I would tell people always be aware of your calendar, always be aware of, moments where it's busier than others. I tell parents all the time, like not just people that are in business, just life, being aware. Like when your kids are in sports, those are not the times when I'm taking on major tasks because I know that my kid's schedule is about to get crazy. So I'm picking up from
Mm-hmm.
practice, taking them to practice, going to games on top of still trying to maintain, work and ministry. So awareness is the key. Always being aware, always paying attention, knowing where you're supposed to be, writing things out, keeping a very good calendar. Check your calendar before you say yes to things. And then also again, being aware of, I would say just being aware of yourself, period. Is the key. Know yourself, know your limits, know your capacity. My capacity level is just a little bit different. So there's things that I know that I can kind of handle and do that maybe other people cannot do, So I don't never measure my life, against someone else's. I'm constantly being concerned about me because I'll tell you this, that there are certain things that you are graced for that other people sometimes are not graced for. And so like you'll limit yourself based off of their measure of grace. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you'll go too far and you're not graced for something either. So just being mindful of your grace, being mindful of your capacity and operate under your grace. And so if it's not something you have the capacity to do, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that you stay under your grace. And I'll say that.
Ooh, that's I was thinking about a time where a friend of mine, she knew that I knew how to do like a lot of things, and I'm gifted in a lot of different areas. But that just wasn't something that I wanted to do. Like, I was just like, you're good. You're really good at that. I know I could be good at that. But at the same time, I just don't feel like graced in that area, to like do that. And it was like event planning. And I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
that's just not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is over here in the graphics and stuff like that. But that's your thing. Your thing is like doing all this creative stuff because you have time to do all that. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. And a lot of times, you can feel bad. Like, what would you say to someone who feel like they can't say no, because they feel bad that they told that person no, or they feel bad that, maybe someone will look at them a certain way. Like, what would you tell? Because I'm being raw, I'm being honest, because this is real life, and there are women, men who may be listening who do feel that way, like that they
Yeah.
can't say no. It's a time where I couldn't say no, and I'm like, hold on, I'm stressed. Like, I need to say no.
I would say to that person that it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think there's any other way to say it besides the fact that, like, it's okay to say no. If it's
Yeah.
something you're able to do. And I'll say this, anyone that's in your circle that's around you and they don't know how to receive your no, then they're not really your people.
Mm,
Because your people will know how to receive your no, and I think
yeah.
honesty is always the best. Now, to say that you're going to do something and people that just don't show up, now we got a little problem because you can't just say you're going to do something and not do it. But from the very beginning, if you're just like, hey, listen, I'm not capable, I feel like people will respect us more by having the communication and us being honest. I think what
Hmm.
happens is because we're scared of how people are going to receive us, we're not always honest with people. And then we may wait to the last minute, or you may do it with an attitude, like you
Hmm.
don't do it with the right spirit. So I think just from the beginning, just saying, hey, listen, that's just not my grace. You know what I'm saying? Or I just don't have the capacity for that right now. Or it's just, that's not something I want to do. And just be honest about it. And if they're your people, they will receive it. And then you'll know how to move going forward because you don't ever want to have people in your circle that you always have to walk on eggshells around. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, you
Okay.
don't want people in your circle that you always feel like, hey, if I can't do what they want me to do, then, it's like that people pleasing, kind of thing. And a lot of us, I feel like we have that people pleasing thing. I'll say this. I always say this when God showed me this, I was like, God, this is so real. But I feel like, even as people in ministry and church, like church has taught us, about love, but it hasn't taught us about boundaries,
Yeah.
and we don't understand what boundaries look like. People don't know how to respect people's boundaries because they feel like because you love the Lord and because you're a Christian, that they can do what they want to do. They can say whatever they want to say. They conduct themselves any old kind of way. And you're just supposed to receive it and chase after them and chase after their love and, all those kind of things. That I'm like, no, like I love God in real life. However, there's a thing called boundaries.
Yeah.
And I don't have to give into what you want. I can say no to you. And if it doesn't work for me, I have the right to walk away from anything that does not work for me. And so I think sometimes in this Christian walk and in ministries, people try to hold people hostage, uh,
Yeah.
something. And I'm like, you can't hold somebody hostage. God gave me this gift. God told me what to do, and He's given me the capacity to do what I need to do. And so, even in this walk of Christianity, don't allow people to hold you to a place that even if you feel like, your grace has lifted, if you feel like, hey, it's time for me to go, it's time for me to move, it's time for me to shift, because I think we get stuck in those because they're like, oh, but I just love God and people want to hold us hostage. I don't know why I'm saying this and I'm going here.
My God.
Feel like this is what the Lord is saying. I listen, when I tell my people at church, I say, I'm not here to hold you or to lord you. That's not my job.
Yeah.
I have to give my people even in the church, like everything is not a church thing. You know what I'm saying? I got to give you the grace to be able to operate in your God-given gift. You come to church to be strengthened and to have community and have leadership. And we develop you for your assignments outside of the church. But it's not my job. If you wanted to do a podcast for me to hoard and lord what you trying to do, that's not my
Mm,
job. My job is to help you, to lift you, to, be an assistance of whatever you're trying to do, to walk it out and to give you guidance. And if I feel like, hey, listen, might need to bring in a little bit, or maybe, that, then that's my job. But I cannot control what God has given you.
yeah.
So we can't let people control what God has given us to do. And so when we talk about saying no, like it's okay to say no. I don't care who you are, if it doesn't align. I told you guys at the thing, like even when it pertains to ministry, like we will wrap ourselves in that. And it's like, but I'm not doing what God has called me to do. And I know there are people that are going to disagree with this, and that's absolutely okay. I'm so okay with you disagreeing with me, but everything is not a church thing. I don't believe that you should throw your life into a building and that you're not operating in the full totality of your assignment.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
your assignment is not, I'm not gonna say it's sometimes, it's not always just in the church. I have an assignment to the church. Y'all see it now. I got an assignment to the church, but I also have an assignment outside of the church as well. And so I do God a disservice when I only operate in one area, and I'm afraid because of what you think about me, not to go and operate in everything else that God has given me to do.
Ooh, come on. Hey, I mean I mean, if it ain't hit you, sis, I know it hit me. So
Yeah,
it's okay to say no
it's okay.
and walk away.
Hmm. Yep.
Just walk away.
It's, it's okay. It's okay to say to walk away. It's okay to say, hey, listen, I can't right now. I had a lady, she felt guilty because she wanted to go back to school. And she was like, I feel like if I tell my leaders I'm going to go back to school, like, they're going to feel some type of way because I'm a youth leader. And I was like, well, go back to school. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like this is going to further your life and your education and your wealth and your legacy. I can't let a position here that could be here when I come back, but this moment won't be forever.
Wow.
Take advantage of where I'm at right now.
That was good. Yeah, it was for somebody listening. It's for
Somebody,
somebody.
it's not popular. Keish,
No, it's not.
popular conversation. I know it's not. It's gonna rub some people the wrong way. It may even rub some pastors the wrong way. And I'm a pastor, and I'm literally okay with it because I just need y'all to understand that it's not our job.
But
I
why do people feel that way? Like people in these different ministry roles or like pastors, because I'm not a pastor, but like, like why do people feel that they can hold you hostage or what is that? Like why, like
I don't really have the answer as to why they do it. I think some aspects of people is trauma.
mm,
Sometimes people have trauma in those areas. Sometimes people have been held back, and so that's all they know. And so they're
mm,
duplicating what they've experienced, and I think that the role of a shepherd and the role of a leader, sometimes kind of gets misinterpreted and they feel like, you have to like overshadow everything that everybody does. Um, and that's about the only thing I can kind of touch on, why they kind of go that way. I don't really know what is the specific answer, I should say, about why that happens, but I know that some of it really does come from a place of trauma.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Keish. I am the host of the Cooler Today podcast and also the lead creative behind Crowned and Authentic. The Cooler Today podcast is the message. Crowned and Authentic is the wearable message. I invite you into the garden with me and God during the cool of the day where we talk about Christ in real life, where we are crowned authentic, where we wear our story and we walk in our purpose, where we are the light in someone else's darkness, where transformation of our minds goes forth, where God molds and He shapes us, where we love on each other, where we are honest, we are raw. Listen, God be Godding. And that says it on the shirt right here. He be Godding. He be doing His thing. Go on our website, www.tcotd.store.
I wanted to ask this question with trauma, like, do you believe that we all should get help, mentally, like not just going to church, and of course, like we're worshiping together, we're fellowshipping together, but a lot of people just use that as like this is like
Yeah.
one stop shop. I don't know how to like explain it, but
No, I know what you're trying to say. Like just,
yeah,
just church and that's it, church and nothing else to it.
yeah,
I believe that the Lord gives gifts, right, for
mm,
every area of our lives. And I feel like there are places that sometimes the church cannot touch. Not that that's not that's not the option, right? But I don't feel like it's also like the end all be all. I feel like God gives gifts because I know now there's like a lot of conversation around like church and therapy and life coaching and different things like that. But I feel like again, like example for me, like I have someone that touches every area of my life. You know, some of the people that are like my mentors, they don't necessarily go to church, but they're not mentoring me in church. You know what I'm saying? There's
Mm-hmm.
other areas in my life they have to touch. And so as it pertains to like our spiritual walk, like you need a spiritual leader to help guide you through that. But as it pertains to like your emotions, you need someone that understands how to deal with your emotions. You know, you may need someone that deals with how do you navigate through, you know, a certain area of your life. There might be like a grief coach you need. You may need, you know, a trauma coach, you know what I'm saying? Like to help walk you through, because sometimes even as a pastor, they don't always even have the time to, or the education. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think pastors have to realize like their scope. They have to understand that, you know, what they're graced to do, you know, not that the wisdom of God doesn't allow us to navigate into certain spaces, but there are trained professionals for a reason. You know, so I believe in God plus therapy. I believe in God plus coaching, you know, in all of these different spaces. I think it takes all of us, you know, together. That's what kingdom looks like. Kingdom looks like getting a piece of the puzzle from different places. Like there are some people, you know what I'm saying, that watch me because there's certain spaces that maybe their church doesn't give. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, yeah.
It doesn't take anything away from that church. It's just that their churches, this is their specific assignment, and this is the assignment at the well. And I think that's the part I feel like we're missing, is that we feel like we're going to get everything from one person. I'm going to say this, I'm going to take it a little bit deeper, even as it pertains to relationships. We feel
Mm-hmm.
like as a spouse, we feel like as a friend that you're going to get everything that you need out of that one person. And that's where the unrealistic expectations come in. Now you're offended because
Mm-hmm.
you're my spouse and I feel like I should get everything from you. And then sometimes that's just not the truth. You know, there are some spaces that maybe your spouse may not be able to feel or give you. It doesn't take anything away from them, but you may have to find another space for them to be a, you know, or find another person that kind of operates in that space, you know, to kind of fill that spot. But to say that you're going to get one thing out of one place is crazy. It's the same thing with the church. You know, to think that you're just going to get every single thing that you need from the church and that there's not an area that you may have to look outside of the church to get doesn't take anything away from the church.
Yeah.
You know,
Be well.
that makes sense. That's it. That's all I got.
In all areas.
In all areas. Listen, that's what I say all the time. In every area of your life, I want you to be well.
Be well.
Oh, so
Like
good.
whenever you feel discouraged or overwhelmed or off mission, what is your go-to scripture, prayer, or practice to recalibrate and stay grounded in Christ?
So I think my favorite scripture right now would definitely have to be when Paul says that when I am weak, then he is strong.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, like I've literally had to learn to lean into his strength. You know, when he says, "Hey, can you remove this thorn from me? Can you take this away?" And he was like, "No, but my grace is sufficient." And so in the moments where I'm weak, I just allow his grace to show up for me. And that's literally where I am. I'm like, God, I don't know. In weakness, you know, sometimes we think about weakness in a bad way. And we're like, oh my God, like, you know, I can't do this or whatever it may be. But sometimes the weakness is trauma, it's hurt, it's pain. We don't know what that thorn was that he had, but he said, listen, I'll grace you for it. And I think that's where I am a lot of times in my life. Like, God, I don't understand this. And I can tell you this, and God is saying, like, I'm not going to take this away. There's a
Mm,
very specific, you know, thing that I've endured that I can't vocally kind of really talk about. However,
right.
you know, and I was like, God, like, what do I do with this? You know, and God was like, it's not going anywhere because it can't go anywhere. He was like, but I'll give you the grace to go through it. You know, it's the
Mm,
moments where you feel weak, the moments you feel sad, the moments you feel like, God, I can't do it another day. He's like, but my grace is sufficient, and so
yeah.
let me be strong for you. So yeah,
And those are times where you feel him strongly. Like
yeah,
those are times I feel him strongly. Especially when I've been on go, go, go and trying to be strong and trying to be strong. He's like, lean on me, lean on me. And I'm like, nah, be strong.
Yeah, lean into them. That's what, because I tell her all the time. We be on prayer and say, hey, listen, y'all better lean into them. Y'all be leaning the wrong way because y'all leaning into people that ain't got no strength, they ain't got the capacity to help you. But you
No,
gotta lean into the Lord, and let
gotta press.
him be strong. Let him be strong for you.
Yeah, that's so good. So, sis, I know you're listening. Lean lean in more into God because
Yeah,
He's there. He's our strength. You know, He will give you the strength. He will take it. He
mm,
got it. He got daddy. He got it.
got it. He can handle it.
Oh my goodness. Um, so in your journey, where we were talking about strength, where did God's grace show up in unexpected ways? Maybe at a time you felt least deserving or most vulnerable.
I think his grace definitely showed up when I went through a divorce.
Hmm.
That was when I needed his strength and his grace even the more. Nobody gets married to get divorced. That's not the thing that we think about. That's not something that, like we're expecting is going to happen in our life. And so when it does happen, it's sometimes super hard for us to navigate through that, having children. What are people going to say? And, what does that look like? My parents are pastors, the pressure of what are people going to think about you now? You're a minister,
Mm,
and like now you're getting a divorce and living somewhere with no family. And so I needed his grace. I was probably at the most vulnerable place I had ever been in my entire life. Didn't know what was getting ready to happen, the fear of the unknown. I didn't have like a stack of money like saved or whatever. I didn't have all the answers. I didn't have all the details. I had just moved into my shop maybe about 2 or 3 months before that. And so I'm taking on a whole nother baby. And so I'm literally birthing a baby and losing a baby all at the same time.
wow.
And so I was like, God, what now? But that's why I can say that his grace is sufficient. His grace will show up in the most weakest place
Mm,
found myself in. His grace showed up. So that's what I would say. It was during that moment. It was in that time where he really showed me like I got you. Like I'll never fail you. I'll never leave you. You're not in this thing by yourself. Anybody that's watching, like you're still worthy. You're still worthy of being loved.
yes.
Because in these moments we feel like we're not worthy of being loved. Who's going to want us? We got children. Listen, I'll speak for myself. I got children. Who's going to want me with children? Who's going to want to hear from me? You're a minister, you're a pastor, and now you're divorced, and who's going to want to hear from you? And so all those things are running through my head, but God was constantly reminding me like that I got you. You're still worthy of being loved. You're still worthy of, people listening to you, and all those things. So don't feel like, you're pushed to the side, that you're worthless, all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I keep hearing the word worthy, but just know you're worthy.
Wow.
And
God is so good. We were talking about grace. Like when I went through psychosis in 2023 and I lost touch of reality, I was like, this is it.
mm,
Surely I'm going to die in my mind. And I was going through so much. Not only that, but I ultimately lost my car because of it. I was homeless because of it. Still in a toxic relationship, not knowing it. My kids weren't with me. I was depressed. I was sad. I felt like I lost everything. But I said, God, surely you're still with me.
yeah,
Even though I was going through each day, it was hard. It was so hard to come up out of that. But the things that he showed me while I was in it, it was like, God, and then some days it was hard. Like I just felt like I wanted to die. Like I'm like, I don't want to be here. I
yeah,
said it's so hard. But the fact that he put breath back into my life in that moment, because he said, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. And we were talking about his grace during like those painful times, those times where, he wants you to lean in and not feel like you have to be so strong. When I was younger, we were taught to be strong, and not taught, but we were told you don't have any emotions, you
mm,
know.
Mm.
You shouldn't be crying about that.
Yep.
You're weak, you know, and words are powerful, you know, and so going through psychosis, those are the words that I was hearing for the majority of the time.
Yeah.
But then God came through, like
Yeah.
he came through, and I'm like, look at me now, like
Look at me now. You know what I'm saying? They got us. We ain't gonna go there, but look at me now. Listen, that's it. I'm a new person. I'm different. In those moments, nothing is ever wasted. You know what I'm saying? It teaches us how to lean into him. There were moments when I didn't know what leaning in, like everything that you go through is like a stepping stone for something else. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like nothing is ever wasted. You learn what you need to learn in the moment and you keep going. It's like
yes,
you keep going, and so to look at where you are now compared to where you've been, like people will just be like, dang, well, she got this podcast and she doing this and she doing that. Well, like y'all weren't with me when I was homeless. What I'm saying?
no,
Y'all weren't with me when I was crazy. Y'all weren't with me when I was about to lose my mind. You wasn't with me when I thought like, hey, this is the end. And so as you begin to grow, I want to tell you, like, don't make no apologies for where God takes you. You
yeah,
know, don't make no apologies for your growth because the thing about it is that you work to get here. You push to get to this place. And so people will try to be like, oh, yeah, she getting new. She switched up. Like, I've heard all of the things. And I'm like, but y'all weren't with me. You know what I'm saying? They be like, you wasn't with me in the gym. Like, you wasn't with me when I
no,
was like going through the worst of the worst. Like, y'all was not with me when I was crying. You weren't with me when I was making the necessary sacrifices to like get to this place. So I don't apologize for where I am right now, because I worked my behind off
yes,
to get here, not just in a physical sense, but in my mind.
oof,
And I always say, when I'm up there preaching, and y'all hear me say, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side,
I don't know where I would be.
I don't know where I would be. And then I have to tell y'all, I know where I would be. Okay. I know I will be in the crazy house right now. I should be on medication.
Oh my
Okay.
God,
That's where
yes.
I should be because what I went through said that's where I should be.
People told me that. They were like, you need to go check yourself in. I was like,
Yeah.
no, no. I was just praying. I was like, no, no, I don't check myself. Like, I'm not, no, no. I say, Lord, surely you're going to come through in a
Yeah.
mighty way. And he
I might.
did. And he did.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Keish. I am the host of the Cooler Today podcast and also the lead creative behind Crowned and Authentic. The Cooler Today podcast is the message. Crowned and Authentic is the wearable message. I invite you into the garden with me and God during the cool of the day where we talk about Christ in real life, where we are crowned authentic, where we wear our story and we walk in our purpose, where we are the light in someone else's darkness, where transformation of our minds goes forth, where God molds and he shapes us, where we love on each other, where we are honest, we are raw. Listen, God be Godding. And that says it on the shirt right here. He be Godding. He be doing his thing. Go on our website, www.tcotd.store.
So if you had one final word to leave with our listeners, a charge, a hope, or a blessing, what would that be?
That's a good question. I think it would simply be keep going.
Mm-hmm.
The way to the other side is through. And so if you're trying to figure out, well, how do I execute? How do I get to the other side? How do I fulfill what I'm trying to do? I always say keep going. Even if you're in a place where you just feel like, well, what is my purpose? What am I here for? What am I called to do? Like you just keep going. The more you keep going, it makes sense. The I got to this place because I kept going. When
Yeah.
I didn't know what the totality of my coaching was going to look like, when I didn't know the totality of what my ministry was going to look like, I just kept going. And as I kept going, God kept revealing. I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
I kept going, God kept revealing. I tell y'all, when I started Life at the Well, I thought Life at the Well was going to be a podcast. And I kept saying, Welcome to the Well podcast. That's what in my mind. And I kept going. God was like, Nope, this is what I want you to do. And then I kept going. He's like, No, this is what I want you to do. And I kept going. And it led to a whole pastoral installation that I was not even asking for, thinking about in my mind.
Yeah.
Nothing. I thought it was going to be a podcast. The Lord just gave me a glimpse
Mm.
of what he wanted me to do. I didn't see the full blueprint. I just got a glimpse. And so I'll tell anybody, just keep going. When it gets hard, keep going. When you don't see it, keep going. When one thing doesn't work out, I'll just tell you just to keep going. Because whatever doesn't work out just shows you what will work out. Right?
Oh, yes.
Whatever doesn't work well, it just shows me the areas that will work well. And so keep going. Like I know you're like, oh, well, that wasn't nothing deep. No, it is deep.
It is.
It is. You have to keep going. Like,
Yeah.
don't get stuck. A young lady called me yesterday and she said, like, what do you feel like is like your mission in life? Like, what do you feel like is like your thing? And I said, my thing is to teach people how not to get stuck, period.
Yeah.
Like my job is not to let people get stuck in what doesn't work, how not to get stuck in when things are not going the way you don't want them to go. Because my life has been a bunch of what didn't work,
Hmm.
that I had to navigate through. I navigating through, a marriage that didn't work out. So I'm like, okay, what do we do now? Oh, we just got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
starting a business and didn't have people that were in my salon. Like, thank God my salon is filled now. But when I first started, my salon was not full. And I was like, God, you gave me this. Now, what you want me to do? I'm about to go get me a full-time job because it ain't no way. It's
Yeah.
no way you want me to do this. He was like, no, just keep going. I'm gonna give you strategy. I was like, okay, all right. Started coaching, and it wasn't, I was coaching like, everything in the beginning. And God was like, no, keep going. And I just was like, okay, I don't want to coach that. Don't want to coach that. Not going to talk about that. And I won't do that. So as I kept going, I was really learning what I liked and what I didn't like, who I was for and who I wasn't for. And so now the person that you see today that's like confident on like, this is my audience, this is who I serve, this is what I do, it simply came from I kept going.
Kept going.
Yep.
You learning ourselves. Like we just keep going. Like God will show you. Like He's been revealing stuff to me, and I'm like, oh Lord,
Yeah, because
oh Lord.
I tell people you find God in the go. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna find him in the go. You're not gonna find God in the standing still because he's like, so what am I gonna give you this for? You know what I'm saying? I don't even trust you to go. And so it's like the more you go, it's funny because I keep getting the same prophecy, like God can trust you, God can trust you, God can trust you. And I can say the only reason why I feel like God be like he can trust me is because I'm just willing to go.
Yeah.
If you tell me to do it, I'm just gonna do it. If you tell me like I can't be concerned about people like, well, she does this and she does that, and well, she's always doing something. Yeah, and I am because I'm gonna keep going. And
And is.
what works and is I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna find what works and what doesn't work. I when I first did our I pray, plan, execute in Baltimore, it was supposed to be in October of the previous year, and nobody signed up.
Wow.
Not a soul. So I was like, okay, well, let's try it for another date. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the second time it was 50 people that showed up. And then I did it again and it was like over 100 people that, that signed up. And so it was like, I'm telling you from what I know that you can go from no signups to 50 to over 100, in a matter of months. So
Yeah.
don't give up because it doesn't look like what you think it's supposed to look like, or you only get two people that are on your status, or two people on your Zoom, and two people that sign up for your class. When I first did a class, at $250, it was only maybe like three people that signed up. But then I did a Boston's retreat in Orlando at like a $4,000 ticket and I got a full house. I'm
Wow.
telling you from what I know that you just keep going. Like don't give up no matter what it looks like. If it's two, it's a five. You serve those two and five people like it's a million people in the room. And I had an event. I've had hundreds of people at an event, and I did something the other week, and it was two people that showed up.
Oh wow.
Still didn't let it discourage me. Why? I'm gonna just keep going. Those two
Yeah.
people, evidently they needed me, but it won't hinder me from trying again. It won't stop me from doing something again because I understand that whoever's supposed to be in the room, y'all, just know they're gonna be in the room.
That's right. So we gonna keep going. We
Yeah.
gonna that's our declaration. We gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Say that, sis. I'm going to keep going.
That's good.
So family, what a powerful conversation. My heart is full, and I pray yours is too. Coach Takara Nicole, like thank you for pouring out and for showing up, and showing us what execution by faith truly looks like, and reminding us that obedience and action go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So before we go, can you let people know where they can follow you, where they can get all the good things that you're doing?
Absolutely. So I'm on Facebook as Coach Takara Nicole as well as Takara Nicole. So you can follow either page. It doesn't matter. I'm on Instagram. I'm Takara Nicole. I'm on TikTok. I'm Takara Nicole. My website is takaranicole.com. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, and I'm gonna drop the links below too, so you all can go ahead and follow her and get all the good things that she's doing. Because I know that you need it, sis. We need it. We need to be better, be well, okay? And so y'all don't forget, follow me, it's your girl Keish on Linktree, slash it's your girl Keish, where you can find our merch store. You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and also connect with our brand Crown and Authentic on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Everything that you want to know about Keisha's on the link tree. So yeah, like thank you. And again, this is the cool of the day where we are crowned and authentic, where we wear our story, we walk in our purpose, and we choose to be the light in someone else's darkness. So until next time, stay crowned, stay authentic, and stay in God's cool of the day. Peace.